So, you think Caitlin Clark is the greatest Indiana Fever player ever? Fair take, if you just started watching. But if you really want to understand this franchise, you need to know one name, Tamika Catchings. And trust me, this isn't close. See, Caitlin Clark is an offensive superstar. Logo threes, playmaking, highlight passes. But Tamika Catchings? She was everything. We're talking about the ultimate two-way force in WNBA history. Before she even made the league, she recorded something that still sounds fake, a quintuple-double, 25 points, 18 rebounds, 11 assists, 10 steals, 10 blocks in one game. That's not a stat line. That's domination in every category possible. And when she got to the WNBA, she didn't slow down. She became the face of the Indiana Fever for 15 straight years. Same franchise, no super team hopping, just consistency and greatness. By the time she retired, she led the Fever in basically everything. Points, rebounds, assists, steals. That's not just being great, that's owning a franchise. Now let's talk defense, because this is where young fans really need context. Caitlin Clark can take over a game offensively, but Tamika, she could end your night entirely. She won Defensive Player of the Year 5 times. That's a record. She also retired as the WNBA's all-time leader in steals. First player ever to hit 1,000 steals. She wasn't just locking people up. She was terrifying to play against. And then there's the biggest difference, winning. In 2012, Tamika Catchings led the Fever to their only championship in franchise history, not as a side piece. As the leader, she took down a stacked Minnesota Lynx team that most people expected to win. And she walked away with Finals MVP. That's legacy defining. But here's what makes her story even bigger than basketball. Tamika Catchings played her entire career with a hearing impairment. Let that sink in a sport built on communication, awareness, and reaction. She still became one of the greatest players of all time. That's not just talent, that's relentless work ethic. That's why coaches still use her as the standard when teaching young players. And here's the part that should end the debate. Even Caitlin Clark herself respects it. She's called Catchings a tremendous player and someone who set the standard for the franchise. So, if the player you're calling the GOAT looks up to someone else, that tells you everything. Caitlin Clark might be the future of the Indiana Fever, but Tamika Catchings? She is the foundation, the standard, the legacy. And until someone matches what she did on both ends of the floor for 15 years with a championship to show for it, the GOAT of the Indiana Fever is still Tamika Catchings.